So in this case, you're actually editing the website, the delivery through website. It won't, you know, this system won't edit your website, okay?
Gotcha.
So it's not doing that. But what you could do if you were clever is actually make the metadata update, use one of those metadata description fields as your alt tag, and when your website loads images, it could read that and use that.
There you go.
So that's what I would say, how to handle that. No, I'm not actually going to build your website for you. It's possible, I don't play around a lot with Amazon services like Content Delivery Network and stuff, but it's possible they're engineered to do some of that for you. I don't really know, can't promise that. So hopefully that answers your question. Yes, sir?
Who do you see as your competition?
Well, let's see, since I haven't actually specified a market yet, you know, there are a lot of sites that let you upload photos, so I would have to differentiate, like, why wouldn't I just use Google Photos?
Why would I just use Google Drive and upload it myself?
Well, the main argument there is that good luck if you're trying to get more than 500 gigabytes of data out. So one essential service, one of the most essential services I might provide is the drive transfer service. Google used to do that. When they first came out with all this stuff, you'd give them $80 and mail them a drive, and they would put your whole drive up on Google Drive for you. They quit doing it. Now you have to go to like Iron Mountain or someone like that. And I haven't seen what those guys charge, but I'm guessing they don't really care about someone who's got 500 gigabytes of images they want to throw up. They probably want more. So that would be one thing, just the practicality of trying to get X terabytes of images up into any service. Also from the fact that from there I can actually, you know, it doesn't have to just send stuff to Drive, it can actually be used to send stuff to any service. So it could just be marketed as an upload service for business or something like that. The other thing is, Google has put a lot of work into the collaborative tools and the permissions settings, and all of these permission settings interact with all of their other products, so there's a whole kind of infrastructure of products that Google has already built out. So any standalone website would have to work very hard to kind of duplicate all of those features. Also, from a cost perspective, I'm letting Google do all of the engineering work for me, okay? So I'm just paying them for cloud service infrastructure. If I were to build this as a standalone website and try to do all the stuff I'm talking about, plus provide security to connect to other accounts so when somebody hacks me, they don't hack my whole business. Everything I'm doing is sandbox security. From an operational standpoint, just building the website and keeping it running would be thousands and thousands of dollars. So I've skipped past all that. So maybe building the arguments for the end users is the next challenge for me from a marketing standpoint. But as far as an operational standpoint, I think I've jumped past a lot of the cost barriers that would normally be associated with deploying something like that. And it's not that anybody else could do it, but you know, then the challenge is to deliver the service with value in such a way that you're, you know, the people that you're marketing to appreciate you versus your competition. Somebody will copy it the second I'm making $1, somebody's going to try to copy this, or somebody who's already doing it is going to think I'm copying them, you know, so I'm going to try to emulate somebody else that delivers service. I think the flexibility that it's not just a photography service, it can be used for document management, it can be used, you know, for cloud storage management. It gives me a little flexibility in presenting arguments to different types of people as to how this would differ from, say, a typical photo site where they just upload everything. And one concern, I know it's a long answer, one concern is also intellectual property. You have to read the fine print when you're uploading your photos to a lot of these sites because they're reserving the right to reuse your work in some ways. Whereas my system, your work is your work. Okay, I'm providing a service to you. I don't have any rights to reuse your photographs or distribute them in any other way. You know, so a lot of photographers might be keen on IP. So, you know, there's no fine print in my contract that yes, we can redistribute. You know, if you read some of your page 10 of your you know, Google Photos contract, you'll see some interesting stuff. So, yes.
A couple of things. Actually, I can see the use of the service, but again, you know, what other things that you can provide to them. For example, if you are traveling, you know, you want to back up everything somewhere other than your camera or your camera bag. because if that bag is stolen, which is sometimes more likely, then everything goes away. So what kind of, if you have slow internet where you are, let's say you are somewhere in Middle East or somewhere in Russia, you don't have great internet at that time, then you are not going to upload terabytes of data, but you will still do it. So how fast does it provide when you zip it, when you compress the file?
So with my brother's collection, I actually had two challenges. One was to get everything up in the first place as a backup, which that is kind of a lump sum upload. And none of the sync apps that I tested could produce any kind of reliable performance, like if you just want to use Google Drive Sync and dump a terabyte of photos into it, it not only will it take forever, it'll never work. So that's where the drive transfer service comes in. For somebody who already has a large collection on the ground and they just need to get it established in the cloud in the first place, I'm providing that leg up through the drive transfer service. So whether, I would probably do the same thing Google used to do, which is where you could mail in a drive with your stuff. And I'm looking for local partners. Once again, I'm looking at Jeff there at 1701, maybe have like a docking station there that's connected to a real fast upload pipe and take care of that. I did test with my brother. I did put the Google Drive Sync app on his Mac. He has a Mac. So, by the way, this is all OS independent because it runs in the cloud. So it doesn't matter what you're running. I'm running Linux in the cloud. So, and that did work for like a daily batch of photos or a week's worth of photos, a few gigabytes, 50 gigabytes, 6 gigabytes. And I was actually able to run that as a service using Amazon's free tier, as long as it kept it below 5 gigabytes. So just like a daily upload, if you throw it in a sync folder and he travels, those sync apps are designed to really run as a background process and they don't hog a lot of bandwidth, so that would probably work. I mean, if you're getting really crappy internet, I'm sorry, but he travels to a lot of weird places, so it seems to work. So that would just run in the background. Whenever he turns on his laptop and he's at a hotel, it'll pump up a few more files until he's done with it. Okay. And then the process in the cloud, the way it works, is so these files aren't taking space on his hard drive. At a timed interval, the cloud virtual machine kind of scoops up everything that he's got in his sync bucket, moves it somewhere else, so it removes it from his laptop and then moves it to the cloud storage or different folders in Google Drive. So it actually allows him to, and a very interesting aspect of this service is that Google Drive Unlimited allows me to have unlimited storage in Google, but I can share a folder with someone and the drive quota only counts against the file owner. So if you have a 15 gigabyte Google account, I can share your 2 terabyte image collection with you through a folder, and it doesn't matter that you have a free account. So there are a lot of little hacks to kind of work around some of those issues, but I did test it with the sync app.
Also, like if I use your service, for the future, am I gonna open a Google account and all that stuff, or am I not even gonna see the Google account? So I go to your website, you are gonna probably have a website, and it's gonna run your software, and your software is gonna run Google Drive in the background, so I don't even actually know that it's in the Google Drive. Is it gonna be like that, or do I have to open a Google account and work with your system?
Two ways I deliver this. I will either set up, remember Google G Suite gives me the full admin backend for user account provisioning and stuff like that. So I'm just going to set up a user account under whatever Google Apps organization I set up. So I'm going to give you login and password and give you a link and go log in here. And you'll probably see the Google login page, so you know it's a Google account. And that way I manage your actual user account as well. And the drive space that you're using is part of the Google Drive Unlimited provision. So that kind of gives me the advantages, like if you forget your password and stuff like that, I'm actually your account owner, so I can manage your account. It is possible to configure the service where if you have your own Google account, I just share services with that and allow you to manage them through your account. Part of phase 2, I'm going to really decide how I want to deliver the service. I might want to kind of have more control over the whole account structure, like if somebody's not paying me, I want to just be able to suspend their account or something like that. So there's a lot of flexibility. I don't really have a solid answer because there's a lot of flexibility in how I could deliver it. Or also, if you're working a business, I could even provision a custom domain that you administer, your own IT guys administer. And you could share things like with third party, your social media person that you hire, you know, part-time or whatever, share things out to their Google account. So probably a Google account will be required, but not necessarily, because, you know, people that are working with resources that are on Amazon would have IAM user credentials for whatever bucket they're authorized to use in Amazon, so they might not even have access to any of the, you know, the Google account, the user account for the account holder. I don't know.
And I don't know if you can use it for the, like, for if you get a professional photographer and then, you know, they are taking your kids' pictures and stuff, they put it on a website and then you order the prints. Can you lead to that market, or?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. It's really, that's the difference between like consumer cloud storage services. That's in fact, that's pretty much, I believe, how they're monetizing their services. They make a deal where they can sell prints with some third party. So you're uploading all your stuff to Google Photos or Amazon Drive.
No, it's not like that. It's like if you go to a local photographer here, you know, there's many, and then they take pictures of your family, and then they upload a bunch of them on a website, and then you say, you used to go to the studio and pick from little pictures.
Oh, I see. So the family's picking the prints.
Correct. So, you know, you get to see the pictures before you order the photographer to print.
Yeah, you could definitely have, you know, let them have like a preview option. You could have like guest accounts under your main account where you just say, here's your login, go there and look at this. And once again, like I was demonstrating in, showing in the demo, you can actually share photos directly from Drive with a shared public link, or share it directly to their email address, set an expiration date on it, make it one of the low-res images you don't want to give away. You can turn off download and print, so they can't steal it from you, they have to buy it from you. So there'll be a number of, you know, I see where you're going now.
Right.
So yeah,
I mean, just way to make money. You know,
right. They could simply just drag the photos they like into a folder that would signal to you, these are the ones I need to print out, and
correct.
Very simple interface like that. So I saw another hand. Yes, Jeff.
So this, like, one of the things you said kind of reminds me of, and it's akin to a thing that I believe like the UPS store and FedEx, Kinko's used to have, where you could bring in like your old reel-to-reel video or a VHS tape, and then they would put it onto a DVD. And then I think that probably went away, but people then, you know, want to migrate stuff up to the cloud. And so I like the idea of what you're talking about is facilitating if they have a large kind of repository that they need to get up there, and help them through that, and then teach them sort of the mechanics of how to utilize going forward the syncing in the cloud and sharing all that. Because I think there are a lot of people who probably have everything still stored on, you know, Western Digital USB drives.
It's like my brother. One, you know, he travels around with him and his partner stuff on two external drives.
In a fire or a theft, everything's gone. So, I mean, from that standpoint, marketing that way, and then having local people, and whether it's partnering with like a UPS or FedEx, Kinko's, which has locations everywhere, that kind of makes it probably easier. Because I think that it's probably a sort of an education process, as well as a more sophisticated, you know, component of the application of how to do it. Where if you have somebody help you facilitate it, you probably have a lot more adoption.
Well, that drive transfer actually works right there, talking about marketing, as a standalone service, because they could bring their drive in, and for X dollars a gigabyte or whatever, you know, it could be an add-on to a larger managed system like I'm kind of talking about. Or if some guy's just like, I want all this stuff up in my, I want an Amazon cloud account, and I want all my stuff up in there just so I know it's safe. You know, we can have a simple walk-in service where they hand over a drive, and you know, we put it up. It could be their own Amazon cloud account, or it could be one that we provision and then bill them for. I mean, you know, just that alone would probably be pretty attractive. A lot of businesses, I get a lot of emails from guys who are like Google Apps resellers, you know, or whatever, those guys. And they find my blog post on Google Drive data migration. They're like, yeah, we had a new client, and they wanted to get all their training material up into, you know, we just hooked them up with Google Apps, and they're trying to get all their training videos up into Google Drive, and we couldn't figure out how to do it because Google Drive is a consumer cloud product. And so I've kind of shown them how to leverage Google Cloud Platform to do it in high-speed transfer. And they're like, wow, that was great, you know. So there are a lot of opportunities where just getting data from point A to point B And being an expediter for that might be lucrative way to kind of start out the service, so. Yeah.
So as we're ending up our time, I always like to ask you, Mark, what can 1 Million Cups do for you?
Okay, well, I do have some handouts printed in the back, which link to a domain, so you can actually read, if you have not been inundated with detail enough already, you can, I've been working on this for 2 years, so the blog post videos. If you know any photographers that might find this interesting, that's cool. Also, Jeff is going to host me down at 1701, which I'm going to do what would probably be a more technical presentation of this, which might, for those of you that are interested in that. So that'll
Do you have a
be
date for that?
That's going to be a TBA. We just got settled the negotiations like last night at the wee hours. And
Just
so
let us know so we can invite, I mean, I think everyone has like tons of friends that are photographers, right? I mean,
Right.
that's crazy.
that document is in electronic form, and it has the link to the 1701 event calendar. So
Okay.
basically, just remember that domain or get a copy of that sheet and go to www.singlearchiveservice.com, and I'll update that. I mean, it's like a living, it's a website hack.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is this only after 6 minutes?
Good day. It's for additional coffee.
All right.